Days ago, we told you about the remains of a Minnesota soldier finally laid to rest at Fort Snelling National Cemetery. He was missing in action during the Korean War some 70 years ago.
And the complete story of how his remains made it back to his home state, pretty amazing. Fox 9's Leah Beno was given exclusive access as his family welcomed him home.
It's been a long process, couple of years to get us to this point.
Escorted onto the tarmac at MSP, this is the moment Virginia Bouvette and her family have waited for 74 years.
Coming home.
On a plane from Honolulu, the flag-draped coffin containing remains of U.S. Army Corporal William E. Colby, or Billy, as Virginia knew her long-lost cousin. At 84 years old, Virginia is the last living member of her family with any memory of Billy. She was 9 years old the last time she saw him. The 17-year-old enlisted and never returned to Minnesota.
As I got older, then I would hear them all talking that he was missing in action. And my aunt would, she would look at every tea leaf reader and go to every psychic, and they'd all tell her that he was alive. So she thought right up until the day she died that he was alive somewhere.
When Billy joined the Army, he became a member of the 7th Infantry Division. He was reported missing in action December 2nd, 1950, at age 19, just months into the 3-year Korean War. His unit was attacked by the Chinese People's Army forces as tens of thousands attempted to withdraw near the Chosin Reservoir, location now current-day North Korea. A conflict so harsh, frigid conditions, the Department of Defense made this documentary about it.
So we haven't been able to go in and retrieve remains. It was a very chaotic battle, and many of our soldiers, we suspected they were dead.
Absent evidence of Billy's survival, the U.S. Army presumed him dead in December of 1953. But Virginia says his mother agonized the rest of her life and never got closure.
She missed him so much. It was her only child. And she just, she just knew he was someplace, but she didn't know where.
Decades passed, and at some point, 2 of Billy's aunts attended military prisoner of war and missing in action events, and as technology advanced, offered their DNA for testing in hopes of someday finding a match. But as they passed on, Virginia has become the senior family member.
It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable that this can happen nowadays.
The pieces of this family puzzle started to fall into place more quickly following a summit between Kim Jong-un and then-President Donald Trump in 2018. North Korea turned over 55 boxes reportedly containing remains of American service members. Scientists were able to match this single bone with the DNA collected from Billy's late aunts years prior. For a few more years, Virginia ignored calls from the Department of Defense, eventually convincing her this wasn't all a scam.
Now we're going to bring Billy home. After all these years from my Aunt Maki, he's coming home.
We're the only ones that really, heard of Billy and stuff. We're the only ones, but at least it's done and he's coming home where he belongs.
On Tuesday, exactly 74 years plus 1 day since he went missing, Virginia, her daughter, nephews, and their spouses were able to pay their respects, acknowledging Billy's medals, place a family photo with his remains, and bring closure to a family mystery that has lasted a generation.
He's got his whole family now.
He's home. That's all we care about.
During the burial at Fort Snelling National Cemetery, it was not lost on anyone the massive effort far beyond the small group in attendance it took to get to this moment. Ultimately, hundreds of people play a role in bringing a service member home. To date, scientists have determined more than 200 separate people were represented among the 55 boxes of remains. 93 American service members have now been identified among them, including Billy.
We're all brothers and sisters, so yeah, it's really an honor to serve and to carry on the tradition. And to honor those that, went through far worse than I will ever imagine.
Forever grateful, Virginia says as much as this was for Billy, this was also very much for his mother. May she finally rest in peace, along with her son.
I'm so glad I'm still here to do it for her.
Leah Beno, Fox 9.